What's up, guys? It's Kyle McCorkle with Real Life Rentals. Wanted to do something different today. I'm gonna be doing a deal deep dive here. I'm in a single family house in Palmyra, Pennsylvania. And this one is actually not a rental. It's not even really a flip. I consider it more of a wholesale. But we had a lot of things happen on this deal. A lot of things went wrong. We had to pivot a couple times, but it looks like it's going to end up being the most profitable deal to date. So just wanted to outline just kind of everything that happened on this deal from start to finish. Okay, so first thing that happened on this property, this was actually a paid lead. It's kind of what I consider a paid lead. So came in through a marketing service. Which is a little different. It doesn't come in from marketing that we do ourselves. So basically what that means is once we closed on the deal, we had to pay the marketing service for finding us the deal. So, but it came in through the marketing service, and our acquisitions agent talked to the seller. Everything sounded great. The price sounded great. And our agent said, can we come and look at the property? And the seller said, well, you can if you want, but my wife and I have COVID. So this was March of 2021, and most people didn't have vaccines yet. And so we couldn't come in to see the property, but we wanted to get it under contract because it seemed like a really good deal. So we had the seller take some video and take some pictures of the house, send them over, and we actually just got it under contract, sight unseen, just based on him answering questions and then sending some pictures, with the contingency of we would come and see it first. So we got it under contract for $112, and our initial thought was that we were going to wholesale it for about $135. And so, like I said, we had to pay the marketing fee, which ended up being about $4,500. So we would have paid some closing costs, paid the marketing fee, and walked away with $15,000 to $18,000, which would have been really nice. We came here, we walked through it ourselves, everything looked good. So we said, okay, we'll get it for the $112. The sellers actually moved out while it was still under contract, and so we just had a lockbox on. We walked a couple buyers through, we got under contract with some buyers. The contract was to buy it as is and not contingent on any inspections or anything like that. And so we got under contract with the buyers, and only after we got under contract with them, we found out that they ordered a septic inspection. So they had someone come out here and inspect a septic. So that was a surprise to us. So we said, okay, well, at least share the report with us. So sure enough, the septic inspection came back and it failed. And the buyers were giving us indications that they were possibly gonna be getting cold feet. So we ended up getting reconfirmation from them that they were gonna close, and everything was great. We were ready to close on April 1st. April 1st came around, and at 10 a.m., the title company texted me and they said, we haven't gotten the funds from the buyer yet. And we were supposed to close at noon. And so I said, well, I'm not gonna come in to sign until we get the funds from the buyer. And so sure enough, at noon, found out that the buyers were backing out at literally the last minute. And so we had this contract to close and buy it from the seller. So we immediately pivoted, pretty much without even thinking, because we had a backup plan ready. So I made one phone call, and I said, hey, I need $125,000 and I need it tomorrow. I actually asked for it that day. So the private lender that I called, he said, okay, I got it ready for you. We wrote up a note that night, and then we closed on the property the day after. So the seller was down in Florida. He had no idea that there was an issue, and so we actually ended up taking title of the property. Okay, so now we have this property that we bought for $112,000. I had gotten $125,000 from the lender. So that bought the property, paid a couple thousand in closing costs, and then paid the $4,400-ish for the marketing fee. So we're left with, you know, about maybe $7,000. And we said, okay, let's figure out what's going on with this septic, and let's just throw it right back on the market. So we had some septic guys out here, and they're digging up the front yard, trying to figure out what's going on with this septic system. And basically what happened was there was an old septic system in here, and after the septic system was in, and actually it was a septic system from a previous house that doesn't exist anymore, you know, it was from like 100 years ago. So the people who we bought it from, they bought this property, then they put in a sump pump and they drained it out in the front yard. And it turns out that where the sump pump is draining is also where the septic field drains. So it was just saturated with water, and it wasn't able to drain the septic. Not to mention the sump pump was running all the time, so there's just a ton of water being pumped out of the basement all the time, actually to the point where the basement needed to be waterproofed. So we decided to kind of kill two birds with one stone. We waterproofed the basement, and then at the same time we rerouted the septic, or the sump pump drain, to drain out the back of the house instead of the front of the house. Okay, so I'm down here in this nice dry, freshly waterproofed basement. So now we got a waterproof basement, we got a dry basement, we got a dry front yard, and we got the water from the sump pump going out the back. So we brought the septic inspector back in, and we said, hey, can you make sure it passes now? He took a couple minutes, and he just tested a couple spots in the front yard, and he said, you're good to go, man. So we now had a passed septic system. We were all in at that point. We probably spent around, I want to say it was like 12 between the excavating and the stuff we were doing with the septic, the waterproofing, and just a couple other miscellaneous items. This property really could use another 30 or 40, but we were just going for quick. So we had borrowed the 125. We actually put in a couple thousand of our own money. So we were all in, you know, for maybe 130 at that point, after buying the property, the rehab, the closing costs, a couple holding costs. And that all took maybe 5 or 6 weeks. So we said, all right, let's put it on the market, see what happens. We said, hey, it's a fixer-upper, needs TLC. And we listed it for 172. We had a couple showings, and the first offer that we got was for 180. And the buyer was using 100% loan-to-value financing. So they didn't care what the price was. So they did ask for a couple inspections, but we said, yeah, let's do it. So we knew that this place needed some work. I was pretty nervous about what the inspections were gonna say, and honestly, the inspection didn't look good. It said it needed a new roof. It said it needed a new panel box. I mean, there was easily $10,000 in repairs just in that inspection. And that's not to mention cosmetically, the house kind of looks like crap. So I was fully expecting the buyers asking for some kind of credit, but they came back and said they were going to take it as is. So that's just the state of the market right now. People just really want houses at this price point, and I think these buyers had lost a couple deals before, and they just really didn't want to lose this one. So definitely got lucky because of the state of the market. That's pretty much it. So we are going to be selling this property in 2 days. I'm just here to check in on it, make sure nothing crazy has happened. Everything's looking good. So we're selling it for $180. I did a flat fee listing to save a little bit on commissions. So we'll pay, maybe about $5,000 in closing costs, maybe a little more, to sell. And then we have like the $130 into it. We're also going to be paying our lender some extra. So I think all in we're about $140. And then, like I said, we're selling it for $180. So we're looking at a $40,000 profit on this deal. So as you can tell, a lot of stuff went wrong. We had to pivot a couple times and just kind of figure some things out. But I think the lesson here is if it's a good deal, and if you have a couple tools in your toolbox and a couple relationships that you can lean on, then you can make some really good money. So there you go, guys. I hope you learned something. Feel free to leave me some questions in the comments, and have a good day.